Hey guys, this is Dawn with the Atlanta Voice, and we are here at Hip and Hops in East Atlanta Village. And I have here with me Dennis Malcolm Byron, aka L. Sharpton. What's going on? How are you?
I'm loving this, man. This is awesome.
Listen, this all started from a tweet that I tweeted out back in May 29th. I looked at the tweet before we even got started, and I was literally telling people that I needed to learn more about beer. Some of the meetings that I was having with some of these sports agents, sports players, and other people that I do work with in general, they were like, okay, let's go have a beer. I can't have a beer because I don't know what I like. So when I put that tweet out, everybody was like, you got to hit up L. Sharpton. So tell me what you really do and what made you a beer enthusiast.
Well, we go way back to Atlanta Voice, where I used to be the editor, and then when I left that, became L. Sharpton. And I just had a passion about beer for a long time. I'm talking, I moved after leaving Cornell in '95. I got here and just really wanted to write about beer and teach people about it. It has so many flavor profiles. It goes way back. Beer is originally from Africa. People don't know that. They just recently just found a brewery underground in Egypt that is 5,000 years old. So it's amazing. And you don't hear a lot of those things. So I try to educate our people about not only that, but taste, flavors, and what the history of beer is all about. And I knew eventually Atlanta would blow up as a great beer city, and it's here right now.
Yes, it is here. And one of the things that I did notice that some of the people they were tagging me in, there's like a huge Black beer community. And talk about that. Talk about how you all connect and have events and host things to really kind of educate others about beer.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to make as one of my missions, is to make sure that our people represented. Beer is for everybody, but the Black people especially are underrepresented, and women for that matter. So those things are kind of starting to pick up. Now the Latinx society is coming in, and it's really, Atlanta's such a diverse city. Why not have great beer and showcase what we can do with that? So our interpretations of beer are starting to come through in different flavors, styles, profiles, and also pairing with food, which I love to do too. So I do beer dinners and pair food with beer. So our people, really, I think Atlanta is the most communal city for Black people in the beer industry right now.
I love that.
And it's starting to spread out all over the U.S.
I love that. I love that. Now talk about some of your favorite places to drink beer besides Hip and Hops, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I love, well, Hip and Hop, definitely shout out to Clarence and opening it. This is the first Black-owned brick and mortar brewery, which is really dope in ATL, which is dope. Really Georgia for that matter. But I'm also like to go to beer bars where they have so many different breweries to choose from. So like we have some world-class ones. The Brick Store, Argosy is amazing. Even this little area right here where Argosy's down the street, I really love there. So it's also about atmosphere, glassware, and all these other things that I take into consideration when trying a beer. But there's tons. There's a lot of different breweries, and I mean, Sweetwater's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I've been to Sweetwater, but again, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at people like, I don't know what I like, you know? So that's why we're here today. So talk about what we're going to do today and kind of explain to people how you're going to break this down, because there's a science to this from what I hear. So I need to pick this up so I'll be a little more versed on in the conversations that I'm having with people about what I'm drinking and what I like in general. But
I want you to come in like an
expert. Hit the crowd out.
I mean, what I do is with my beer tastings, which I love to do, because sometimes I'm running people, and a lot of times sisters, which is really changing now too, and saying I don't like beer, and they have that twisted face, like that's saying you don't like music. You just got to know what to dance to, is what I always say to them.
So
beer has so many flavors. It can emulate any flavor more than any other spirit or alcoholic drink, or non-alcoholic for that matter. So it's just about what you like. So with music, it's what you dance to. I'm gonna pick something you're gonna dance to today. So with that, I lead off usually with a lighter kind of flavored beer that's not really dominant on the profile. And then I have water here set up so you can rinse each palate, and then you decide what you want. Usually the beer tasting I like to do is make sure you give it a little swirl, give it a look to really see what it looks like. Taste it with your eyes and your nose before you taste it with your tongue. And then we go from there. I'm just gonna give it a little swig.
Cool.
This here is called a flight. Very popular at a lot of beer bars or breweries especially. They want you to try different beers. You get to pick them out, and they give you those 4 small glasses, usually about 4, and you try each one and enjoy yourself. So we're gonna do that today.
And we're drinking responsibly, okay?
Oh, of course, of course. We got drivers, all
that. Let's get that out there.
Yeah. Very responsible.
For sure. Let me grab mine. So this is the light one you were saying.
This is a lighter one. So this is a Kolsch. It's kind of like a hybrid. Real quick, beer is made of 4 ingredients primarily. There's yeast, there's hops, there's water, and then it's the grains that they use. And so the hops is very important for bittering agent, but also used to be a natural preservative of beer. So that's where you get your bitterness from. If you don't put the hops in the beer, it tastes almost like sweet tea, like a liquid oatmeal in a way. So cheers to this. This is a Kolsch. This is a hybrid of an ale and a lager kind of thing. So
cheers. All right.
We'll talk more about that. I don't get too scientific.
Give it a
little look.
A little
right?
look.
You get a little bit
so
of
what are you looking for when you do the look?
Actually, the clarity, great question.
Okay.
And then the coloring to see how much the grains have been roasted. They've been lightly roasted here.
Now, nothing should be in my beer. Like, nothing floating. Correct or no?
Nah, it's not a good look.
Okay.
It won't kill you.
Okay.
But yeah. Sometimes the yeast might not settle. Beer might be young or it might be old, but yeah.
Again.
Cheers.
I'm gonna ask
and temperature, if you notice the temperature, it's not ice cold, which is kind of a myth. There's some beers that do taste good ice cold, usually ales, lagers, but ales are more kind of really good about 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so let's taste this.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Okay. Why is this reminding me of like a Michelob or something?
Okay.
I've had that before.
Well, like I said, it's kind of Kolsch's are kind of a mix of lagers and ales. It uses an ale yeast, but also it's co-fermented, and ales grow in warmer temperatures. Lagers are colder.
This is good.
It's good, light.
Yeah.
You could pair this with a lot of food.
I was fixing to ask you on food.
What do you get? A little bit of cereal?
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah. A lot of seafood you could go with, but this is open. It's not dominant on the palate, so it could pair a lot more things.
Like I was gonna say, I feel like I could eat anything and drink this.
Absolutely. The texture too. It's a little on the creamy side. It's not as carbonated as other beers are, like like a Corona or something like that, or Budweiser. This is nice though, right? And it's light in alcohol, so this is a fun one. And it's crushable, is what they call beers. You could drink a lot of in one sitting, or sessionable.
Okay, cool.
In the beer industry as a whole, very creative with names. Just like Ale Sharpton and
love
stuff.
that.
I like to come up with
that.
something. This one here though, what are you getting on the smell of this?
I don't really know. I'm gonna taste it though.
Yeah, please.
Ooh, y'all. Okay, break this one down.
You get a little bit of wine-like textures to it at the end, right? A little bit.
And
a little white grape.
I'm a wine lover, okay? Because I was gonna say that. Listen, okay.
And
I got that.
fruit. I get a little bit of pear. And those mixtures. This is one of the beers I use as a segue for people who don't like beer. It's sometimes very sweet.
This would be perfect.
And it's
yes,
strong.
I agree.
So this is a triple, which is they rank single, double, triple in Belgium, and quads. This is a triple. So this is usually about 8.5 to 9% ABV, alcohol by volume. So put in perspective, a Budweiser is like a 3.5 to 4. This one's a 9. Strong, but great. This will go well. You could do that with desserts, but you can do that with seafood. It goes really well with you being a vegetarian. Just things that might do well with some spices and stuff, because it'll contrast spiciness with a little bit of sweetness. So you can do a lot of things with that.
I like this one.
Triples. I like those, definitely.
I like that
there.
one.
That was made with a beer expert, Owen Ogletree, who came down. And one thing that Hip and Hops does is do a lot of collaborations. So he has one with Dylon, he's working with one, Nappy Roots, drought season, it's all the way down.
So like with the collaborations, how do those type of things happen? Because if you're learning more about something, so you would say you're an influencer in this industry. So with that, how do you make that connection to say, hey, I think you need to try this, or this would be more appealing to this audience, or what have you?
Well, let's say you do have a brewery like Clarence is blessed to have here. Somebody will come in who might be an influencer, or somebody, or a celebrity for that matter, who wants to make a beer. They'll come over here and be like, hey, I have a different idea of what a beer should taste like. Or they might use something from their heritage. So like Dallon, I believe is Jamaican, but he has sorrel that's coming up. So they're making an IPA with sorrel in it, which is really fun. And we're about to go to IPA, which is a great transition for us. But there's a lot of women's societies that are making beer, which is dope. And they might have a way of saying, hey, okay, I think a lot of sisters would like this. Let's add some fruit, or maybe a little perking sour or something like that. So they do a lot of different ways.
Fruity drink.
Yeah, a lot of experimentation. So a lot of people put fruit in beer, which is also fun, So Yeah, beer can taste like caramel. You get peanut butter beer. You've got chocolate beer. You've got so many different styles that you can do. That's why I love rapping about beer.
Okay.
With that, we're gonna go with an IPA, which stands for India Pale Ale, which is very proud of being a bitter beer.
I never knew what that meant.
Yes.
IPA. Okay. And what's the special thing about an IPA?
Well, like we said, hops are bittering agents for beer, and there's like hundreds of hops now. They're creating more and more. And they added a lot of, historically, a lot of hops to beer to make it preserved during long trips when England was colonizing India. So these beers used to spoil, so they added more hops, which means a lot more grapefruit bitterness in the beer and all those type of things. And then it was switching around those casks, so it developed a whole flavor where the soldiers was like, yo, we need to make more of this India Pale Ale. So they have that version over there in England. Now we have an American IPA, which means we do a little extra hops. So the bitter beers that you try and stuff, I love them. My favorite style, fragrant, if you give it a little smell.
Yeah.
It's fun. And this one's called Tupac because it's a West Coast IPA.
Come on, Tupac.
So West Coast is a little more bright.
They were playing Tupac when I came in the door, and I really felt that. I felt at home. Okay, felt like my playlist was playing.
There you go. So this is a West Coast IPA. There's a couple different styles of IPAs. West Coast a little more bright, clear, and very hop forward.
Okay, see, yeah. I ain't gonna tell y'all what this tastes like to me.
No, you can. You get pine, grapefruit.
I feel like it's like a 40 or something like that.
Okay. No. That's fair.
Like, I hate to say that, but it's like.
But you get a little fruit on the finish, though. Once you let it settle. It might be bitter in the front, but at the end,
towards the end,
you almost get a little bit of that fruitness.
With those type of beers, it's just ew. Like, why am I drinking this? But this, I would continue, and it's very clear.
Very popular. It's the most popular style right now.
Wow.
A lot of people are like, oh man, Tropicana is one of the most popular. The Basement, 420 kind of started things, and that's like a hoppy pale ale. So that West Coast style is really big in Atlanta right now. But now they have the Northeast, like calling them upstate, kind of in the north.
Right.
And it's more cloudy, a little more sweet, and not as hop forward. But it's still IPA.
I like this.
A lot of hops.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Come on,
so if you like this, you're a hophead. That's a great thing.
I love that.
All right, cool.
Like, I'm surprised. I'm surprising myself. I just knew I wasn't gonna like that. I'm just
See, you gotta break down those barriers, those mental barriers, and just enjoy yourself, which this sister's doing right now.
That sounds like how, have you seen High on the Hog on Netflix? Okay, so you know the episode where towards the end of one of those episodes where the young man is saying how he's introducing more black people to oysters in general.
Right.
And like that reaction, I literally, this is me having that reaction because I wouldn't want to have a beer because I don't know what to drink, what I like, or what to eat with it. And it's just like, okay, well, I see everybody else and they just do their thing. Or I'll do something in general that everybody else is doing. If I don't like it, I'll just order my wine.
Well, it's amazing you said that. That's an awesome, perfect segue for our next beer.
Yes.
Hip and Hops is all about oysters. Clarence is an oyster fanatic, and they make some fantastic ones. They serve them raw and fried and po' boys with a little Louisiana influence. So he made this stout. Stouts are a little more darker, and a lot of people are scared of stouts sometimes, but it is roasty. They roast the grains more to give it more of some caramel flavors, coffee, so many different things you can get out of it, dark chocolate. So with this, it's a stout, but he added actual oysters to the stout, which is very popular to pair with oysters, especially up in Maine and places like that and on the West Coast. So they actually put that into the brew and make an oyster stout. There's so many different types of stouts. This is a very interesting one, and I have to credit Clarence for bringing that stout flavor profile to this area.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. He's
all right, so this is a dark.
And he brews the beer here.
Yes, as you can see. Okay.
Yeah, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right.
Complex.
Wow.
What do you get out of that one?
I can't really tell. What is it doing? Like, what is it supposed to do?
Right now, it's going from the front of your tongue to the back and passing all the highways of flavor.
See, I don't have the words for it. He just said it. Like, that's literally what, because it's blowing my mind that I can feel that.
You almost get in the beginning a little bit of sourness, a little bit of bitterness, and then you're getting coffee, and at the end, some dark chocolate, a little bit, some notes there.
But it's sexy, and it tastes so good. It's like
silky, the texture.
God. right.
The texture, right. And this will go well, again, with oysters because that salt goes well with it. So the saltiness and brininess of oysters go well with it. But also you can do this with so many other things, man. It's amazing, the properties of beer. This will go good with a burger from the grill, flavors and stuff.
This is crazy.
So.
That is good. And he came up with that. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. Oyster stouts have been kind of popular in certain regions, but he brought that style here. So I definitely give him credit for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I have a surprise for you in that bag. I don't want to mess it up. Can I go grab that real quick? All right.
But while you do that, I'll sit up here and I will say I am completely shocked that I actually like these beers. I've been to a couple of places where I've just, again, tried something that everyone else at the table had, and if I didn't like it, I didn't like it. I just wrote it off. So the opportunity to come into here, Black-owned space, Hip and Hops in East Atlanta Village is amazing to really see these men doing an amazing thing in this industry and to try these beers. Oh, I am just.
It's a fun experience.
I feel some type of way. I feel some type of way. Oh, wow.
So,
what is this?
Speaking of collaborations,
okay.
This is my beer I made with New Belgium in my glass with
wow.
my friend. It's to raise awareness and raise funds for a lot of things going on in Atlanta. The West Atlanta Watershed Alliance, Hey Atlanta, helping youth learn about business. So it's a fundraiser, so it's really fun.
This looks so sexy. Like, that's my word for today. Give it a little swirl. Is that good?
Yeah, more.
Okay, more. So I need to do more. I'm a little nervous here.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I see it. It looks good. Oh, you're doing it.
So this style of glass, we'll do a close-up of it later, y'all.
Why is it?
So you can swirl it and actually wake it up, and then it traps it right here with all the smell goes into your when you're drinking the beer. So it's really fun.
Wow.
Then the piano's up there. So.
That is, so tell me about the piano keys. What's the?
So it's, what do you smell?
Listen, I can't, because you're killing me. All my senses, I don't have them. Like, what is that? Now what? I chocolate, for sure.
This is actually brewed with chocolate, locally flown in from Uganda, and they prepare the nibs here at Chocolato, and it's vanilla, so black and white, ebony ivory, piano keys to help raise diversity in the beer industry. So New Belgium had me come out there, and I presented this idea to them. So
this is amazing.
So
and it's beautiful,
this is stout.
Right?
So,
and it's beautiful.
It's another
congratulations on that.
Thank you. So yeah, it's strong, but yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. So this is beer.
Yes.
And we didn't even try. There's so many styles. There's like hundreds of styles or interpretations of styles. But there's sours. There's wheat beers. Things that are made for the summer. Things that are made for the winter. Things that are so. It's really fun.
Talk about where you see the beer community around Atlanta going.
Becoming even more and more diverse, more communal. Social media certainly helped with that, seeing that our people are going and enjoying beer. We always thought that it was a white people's drink, and it's not.
Right.
And again, we talked about the roots of that, and we're becoming more creative. I think a lot more beer styles, a lot more interpretations of what a beer should taste like are happening. So a lot of from celebrities to women to a lot of different people from all over the world are saying, hey, try this spice with a beer.
Right.
There's a brewery called Konzo's using a lot of African spices and Indian spices in their beer, which is really dope. The Nappy Roots, who represent Atlanta and Kentucky, have their own brewery called Atlantucky. So they're rocking. So a lot more people just becoming more aware, and it's going to become more diverse, especially in Atlanta, which is a great diverse city as it is.
Well, I love it. Well, you'll see more from us talking more about the beer community. I do know that I've found a couple of stories in that tweet, where it was like, oh, I need to interview this person or I need to interview that person. And you were definitely my first go-to.
I really appreciate that.
I know I need to make the connection because not only do we have the Atlanta Voice connection, but we worked at Jador magazine back in the day. Like, we've worked together and it's just like, we've never really had that interaction where we could sit down and really talk about the things that we love. So I do appreciate your time.
It was my pleasure.
I appreciate you being here and presenting.
We got
this
more
to
to
me.
do.
Yes, we do. So this isn't the last.
Maybe a
time.
food pairing. Maybe we could do that next.
That would be dope. That would be dope. I
Thank
would
you
love
for having
that.
me. I appreciate you. Shout out to Atlanta Voice for being so historic and such an iconic newspaper and media resource for our great city of Atlanta and beyond.